Clicking loud now.
3, 2. Good day, Internet.
Good day, Internet.
Good day, Internet.
Oh, good day, Internet. Let me click the button so you can see our faces. There we go.
So, Allison, you were kind enough once to share one of your audio hijack profiles with me.
Yeah.
I believe it is called CCATP Processed Double Audio Me.
You kept it named that?
It's still there. I have this thing happen when I occasionally need to make a recording of just myself. Either I'm recording something on my own, or I'm doing like I was on the Reading Glasses podcast this week. And when I was on, they're like, can you just record your side of things? Whenever I load the sessions pane in Audio Hijack, it fakes me out. So it shows blanket single recording at the top. And as I go to click on it, it scrolls up and I end up opening CCATP Process Double Audio Me. It happens all the time.
Oh, so you think of me each time. Yeah, I'm a brainiac at naming things. It's one of my my special talents.
How's it going?
Adding names to things. It's going great. I am excited to be here.
Me too.
I like
got
our
some
topic.
good stuff.
Yeah, I had to phone a friend in order to be brilliant on the topic I chose.
Are you going to reveal the name of this friend?
Well, only to the Good Day Internet people right now. But yeah, Chris Ashley, the formerly known as Big Chris Ashley.
Yeah, the now just super strong and regular sized Chris Ashley.
Yeah, easy for you to say. Yeah. But yeah, he's my Windows go-to guy to find out the answer to anything about that. So,
Sarah, something's different about your shot.
What is it?
I don't know. It looks cleaner.
Well, I didn't do any cleaning up since yesterday's
I want to know what that scary thing is hanging in the background though, with the red pants.
Oh, the Sarah Pinata?
Is that what that is?
Yeah, that's what it is. It's something that I don't actually want to take advantage of because I feel weird beating myself up for candy. But I would like I would like it to go to a happy home. So next time you have a picnic and there's some kids, I got a Sarah Pinata, I'll take it to the UPS store. No problem.
Oh my gosh.
But
we've been talking about the Sarah Pinata on and off all week, and I have a question that we've sort of been circling around, which
I can bring it closer. It's
sure.
It's somewhat terrifying looking.
Audio folks, this is a pinata in the shape of a human. It has red pants and a colorful shirt and blonde hair.
And it's 2/3 the size of Sarah. It's huge.
It's actually got kind of a festive dress on, and a Mexican party frill top. Is it you? Is it just a generic, girl pinata that they're calling?
This is a pinata that was given to me by my landlord when I moved in. And he was like, Sarah Pinata. And I was like, thank you.
It's
I don't know.
Close enough to you that I could see him commissioning it. Or I could also see him just walking in and going, oh my God, that pinata looks like Sarah. I'm going to buy it.
I think that's probably more of what it was. Like,
all right.
It'll be fun for Sarah. Where I was like, thank you. I'll just go ahead and hang it up by the fridge.
Because that's a little less creepy if he just went in and like, oh, that's funny. That looks like Sarah. I'm going to buy that for her.
It actually kind of looks like one of those animatronic dolls from It's a Small World.
But yeah, no, my shot is not any different than it was yesterday. But I'm glad it looks cleaner. We got a lot of work to do this weekend.
Yes.
What is that cord or cable to the left of you?
This one?
Yeah.
It's my Ethernet because the box is over here. So we got to run it up the ceiling. But I don't know.
Let's all ask
It doesn't sound echoey. It looks it sounds really good, Sarah, but it should be echoey. I mean, you got concrete next to you.
Yeah, we don't have any eggshells up, although I think I will do some of that. Because on DTH, I feel like I could. No, it's not. Well, this is, super condenser mic too. So, and this isn't even my good mic.
And yes, person listening right now going, well, it sounds echoey to me. You've got very good ears.
Yeah, how nice for you.
But looking at the room, I expected it to sound terrible, and it sounds good.
Yeah, I mean, I think the my my main issue really is just kind of just cleaning stuff up, and maybe even putting a screen by. I don't know. I have so many options because there's so much room in here. Because right now it's just kind of my moving stuff. But yeah, there's a fridge. I got a little microwave. Gonna do a little hot plate over there. So if I'm kind of down here all day, I don't have to keep going upstairs. Peckish. If I'm feeling peckish, exactly. I want a smart water or something. Yeah, and then over here is more of a Patrick Norton-esque, standard garage, tool table kind of thing, nice. Which is just a bunch of stuff.
You're really good at pointing in the right place backwards. I am really super bad at that.
I'm not always good at it. I'm also I'm good at knowing what I look like in a mirror. Right. And so when you sometimes you watch videos
so you don't
afterwards.
Do the thing where you mean to point there. You're like, oh, wait, no, I mean over there.
I do.
But when I see stuff afterwards and it's not a mirror, it's actually straight on. I'm like, I am very strange looking. How do I look this way? Like everything's in the wrong place because it's flipped. Yeah. Because we're all just so used to that. We're used to the inverse of ourselves.
Have you seen that thing where they take people's faces? If you take somebody's face and take half of it and then reflect it on the other side, that's when you realize that your face is totally unsymmetric.
It's
right.
Creepy.
Yeah.
I remember that being a thing when I was in high school where they were like, find out your two personalities by looking at a mirrored image of each side of your face. Because one would look like it had slightly a different expression than the other one.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're all pretty asymmetrical. Some perhaps more than others, but yeah, you. I don't know. Maybe it's right brain, left brain stuff. Just kind of affects your face.
That's exaggerated too. Like there is a biological basis with some stuff happening on the left side of your brain and some stuff happening on the right, including things that are mapped to the opposite side. Right. But the whole idea that creativity is entirely in the right side of the brain is not accurate.
Not at all.
I was so mad when I found that
all
out.
Artists would be left-handed, right? It's fun as a left-handed person. Tom, I know you are too. It's fun for me to be like, oh yeah, I got like a little bit of a different kind of brain than most people. But really, what does it matter?
Well, and I also use my right hand a lot, and so whenever I get a shot, I got my flu shot yesterday, for instance, and they're like, which side do you want it in? I'm like, I don't care. It's going to inconvenience me either way.
Right.
Wait till you get a shingle shot. Oh my God.
Easy for you to say. You mean a single shot or a shingle shot?
I had my first shot and it was fine. It was like, it just felt like you'd been punched in the arm by Mike Tyson about 14 times the day before.
Right.
But the second time I reacted to it, and man, it was like he kept coming over to my house and punching me more, and it got like all red and swollen. It was horrible.
Wait, what?
Do you need? I know shingles is related to chickenpox. Do you need a shingle booster if you've had chickenpox, or
yes,
is it?
That's why you need it.
Oh, that's why.
Yeah, if you haven't,
it sort of comes back around later in life type thing.
Yeah, shingles is the same virus from chickenpox, and without the shingles vaccination, you can get shingles.
Again, even if you've had chickenpox.
It's because you've had chickenpox. So without chickenpox, you can't get shingles.
No. But what Tom is saying is, if you had chickenpox as a child, and typically they say if you had it, that gives you immunity. That immunity does not carry or last with you as you get older.
I don't know whether I don't know that part of it. I know that shingles doesn't exist without having already had chickenpox. So if you never had chickenpox, you can't get shingles.
Right. You could still get chickenpox, I guess.
You'd still get chickenpox, but you can be vaccinated for chickenpox, and you don't need the shingle shot then. Shots.
Shingles, BioCow says shingles is chickenpox too. Excruciating boogaloo.
Yeah. As much as I'm complaining about the shot, the disease
better
is
than actually getting shingles. Yeah.
I know somebody who got shingles on their brain.
Ew.
Oh gosh.
Not even half as fun as it sounded.
One of my aunts had shingles some years ago. And I mean, I don't know. I wasn't really there. I only heard about it. But she was like, it was bad. It was like what they say if for some reason you haven't gotten chickenpox till adulthood, it gets worse as you get older. She said it was you want that vaccination. You do not want shingles.
Oh, here's the answer. Shingles is the same virus as chickenpox, but the difference between shingles and chickenpox, and this is why, Allison, you're right that you can't get shingles if you haven't had chickenpox, is shingles is the chickenpox virus lying inactive until later in life when it reactivates as shingles.
Okay.
So it's basically like you have chickenpox, you have immunity against getting chickenpox again, right? But the virus from chickenpox doesn't entirely leave your system. It stays in the nerve tissue and then it just busts back out.
Well, that's very rude.
Yeah, right?
You know,
get out of my nerve tissue.
Haven't we gone through enough?
You've had chickenpox as an adult, and you do not want that either. That was a bad day.
The worst part about that is if you
as
get
a teenager, and it was quite bad.
If you get chickenpox as an adult, you can still then get shingles after that.
Sure.
Like add insult to injury.
In fact, now you're probably going to.
Right.
Okay, wait. It's even more fun. Steve got chickenpox as an adult. He got the shingles vaccine, but it was when they had the old one that isn't that effective and you only had one shot. So he still has to do 2 more shingle shots on top of that. So 3 sets of shingle shots and chickenpox.
Shingle shot.
I think a shingle shot should probably be some kind of peppermint schnapps and hot damn, the really spicy liquor.
What's that? Yeah.
Oh, you guys don't know hot damn.
I do not. How spicy is it?
It's what does it have in it? I want to say it has like jalapeno in it or something, but I might be. Oh no, it's just cinnamon. It's just like really heavy cinnamon. So it's got like a hot,
like the
spicy.
Goldschlager.
Yeah, but it's like 10 times the Goldschlager.
Or maybe like Goldschlager is vodka, right? Maybe it's based on a different kind of liquor.
It's schnapps. It's 100 proof cinnamon schnapps with a lot of cinnamon so that it's hot, so it tastes spicy.
Sorry, I keep digging into my eye. I've got a little eyelash in there or something.
Get that out of there.
I just noticed something
got me crazy.
Technically interesting. In the Skype menu under Window, it has the option to move the window to my iPad Pro.
Oh, because you're on Sidecar, or
I don't have it up and doing any Sidecar, but maybe that's what it was doing. Yeah, that's probably all it's doing, not actually moving to the iPad Pro.
That's interesting, though.
I should do it 2 minutes before the show's going to start.
Oh, totally. What could go wrong?
When they get it, do they put it straight into your upper arm, or do they put it in the back of your arm?
No, they put it on our iPad Pro.
No, the
because it's Sidecar. Jeez, Roger.
No, that's
No.
That's how you get vaccines now, through your iPad Pro.
No, I understand that. No, it just occurred to me the question about the vaccination.
When they give you the shingles vaccination, is that what you're? Yeah. Do they give it on the back of your arm?
Yes.
That's where I got my flu shot.
Well, because when I got my hepatitis, it was in a different size portion of the arm versus like a tetanus shot, which is straight into your muscle.
Ooh, tetanus shot. That's
Yeah, I got a hepatitis shot when I was going to do some traveling, and it was recommended in my forearm.
Huh.
In fact, it was like the inside of my forearm, and it kind of swelled up and looked weird for a couple of days. Not a big deal, but I was like, that's a weird place to give me a shot, but I guess it makes sense for some reason.
They gave it to me on the other side, like on the inside of my bicep, which is weird. But
because you're so muscular.
Maybe.
Right. You know what you really don't want is a hornet sting between your toes. I did that last week.
Oh, no.
Don't recommend it.
Definitely don't want that.
Nest.
I mean, I thought, you got to try stuff once, right? That's what I figured.
I don't need to try death until I'm ready.
All right. Well, now I know.
Wait, you do have to try death once.
Yes.
There's no escaping.
Well, you don't really try it. It's more of a.
Yeah. I'm just saying that's one you're going to try at some point. And don't get around that one. Well, I don't know. I say that because I'll be the last person to die. You all live forever because they'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll see.
I'm going to get a 3D rendering of myself and then load it to archive.org, and then maybe in the future someone can digitally recreate me.
Ooh, and upload all your audio files?
Yeah.
Go back to that version of Roger from 95.
Now, that'd
until
be
that happy day, we'll just have to do Daily Tech News Show instead.
Fine.
Yeah,
my death
work with what you have, everybody.
That's right. Is everybody prepared to talk about some tech news?
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready.
All right, here we go. In 3, 2. Coming up on DTNS, your TV is too old, says Netflix. Disney Plus is coming. And do we need a new operating system so darn often? This is the Daily Tech News for Friday, November 8th, 2019 in Los Angeles. I'm Tom Merritt.
And from Studio Redwood, I'm Sarah Lane.
And this is Allison Sheridan from the Podfeed Podcast Empire.
And I'm Roger Chang, the show's producer.
We were just talking about vaccinations and Roger's plans for a 3D version of himself in the future to be on archive.org. Look for that coming soon. If you'd like more details, of course, you have to subscribe to Good Day Internet at patreon.com/DTNS. Let's start with a few tech things you should know. Come on.
All right, I'm here. Tencent has enabled the ability to link a WeChat Pay account to international bank cards, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discover, Global Network, and JCB. Previously, a user needed a Chinese bank account to use WeChat Pay, which is the dominant way of exchanging money in China. The move hopes to tap into foreign workers and tourists.
Bloomberg reports that Alibaba plans to raise up to $15 billion in a Hong Kong IPO, according to sources. The company had reportedly aimed to list on the exchange over the summer, but delayed due to pro-democracy protests in the city. Sources say the company is preparing for the required listing hearing mandated by the exchange, which could take place as early as next week.
U.S. Representative Bobby Rush, who is chair of the Consumer Protection Subcommittee in Congress, wrote a letter to Comcast CEO Brian Roberts saying, "It is my belief that the Comcast Corporation needs to be broken up." This is in reaction to the U.S. executive branch coming in on the side of Comcast in a discrimination lawsuit brought by the entertainment studios, which is headed up by a man named Byron Allen. That discrimination case is appearing before the U.S. Supreme Court November 13. Allen accuses Comcast of discrimination in its decisions not to carry cable television networks from entertainment studios. Representative Rush supported Comcast's acquisition of NBC Universal back in 2009, but he's not so happy with them these days. All right, let's talk about Disney.
Let's do it. In an interview, Disney CEO Bob Iger said that the Disney Plus streaming service will be available on Fire TV devices and Samsung and LG TVs at launch in the U.S., which is coming Tuesday, November 12th, just a few days from now. Disney Plus will also be available across Google, Apple, Microsoft, and Roku as well. Disney also announced more details about Disney Plus's international rollout, with the UK, Germany, France, Italy, and Spain getting the service on March 31st of 2020. Within the next week, Disney Plus will be available in the U.S., Canada, the Netherlands, Australia, and New Zealand. Iger also said that Disney Plus will release more than 60 original movies and TV shows each year, and FX and Fox Searchlight will have designated homes on Hulu starting in March.
Yeah, I mean, this is getting a lot of attention, don't get me wrong, but I think it may be lost on some people who follow this more closely like we do, how important this is. This is the streaming service that everyone knows about, and even people who don't get Netflix are likely to try signing up for. I think for a lot of people, this will be their first streaming service. And this is the kind of thing that can then pull people into streaming when they say, oh, this is how this works. Well, that's interesting. You mean I can get other things this way? Could be the moment we point back to and say that's when the cord cutting wave really finally had its inflection point.
Is it my misinterpretation, or is this sort of like Disney's game to lose? I mean, they've got everything. So they've got all the really, really cool stuff. And for some reason, they've priced it like at least half of what it should be, maybe a third of what it should cost. And so all they have to do is put it out there. I mean, we already know what's in there. It's awesome stuff. It's all the stuff we want, right?
Yeah, I think you're right. Like this kind of takes out of the equation. Will they like the content? Well, I mean, yes, there are people who aren't going to like all the content on Disney, but man, those are few. Those are a small amount of people. There's something for everybody in there. There's classic Disney stuff. There's High School Musical stuff. There's Marvel. There's Lucasfilm. There's National Geographic. I mean, it's all over the place. So it's less likely that somebody's not going to find something they like. And like you said, the price is pretty affordable too.
Well, and I think that that's a big part of the strategy, right? Allison, you mentioned, it seems almost underpriced. Well, that's how you get in there. You get into Disney Plus, you get used to it, you like it. Netflix has done this over the years as well. we're raising our prices incrementally, not too much, but it's going to be a little bit more expensive. And people go, well, I like Netflix. So it's that is the better way to do this because they are on a very competitive playing field at this point.
Well, and the last thing they took care of this time is platform too. Like if you've got a Fire TV, a Samsung TV, an LG TV, you're no longer like, wait, am I going to get this? Yeah, the answer is yes. You can get it if you want.
But price wise, if you get a free Disney account, it's like $3.50 a month. I mean, that's bananas low. I don't even. I mean, that's paying for 3 years.
Are you worried? Are you worried they're not going to make enough money, Allison?
You
could probably pay them more.
Maybe I should check into that.
No, it's.
We just want you to survive, Disney.
Yeah. We're worried about you, Disney. No, yeah. I mean, yes, they can raise the price later too, but a lot of this is sunk cost for them. They already own the rights. They didn't have to negotiate the rights for most of the stuff, right? Yeah. Although they're giving up revenue that they would have got if they had licensed it out to somebody else, but I think $6.99 a month from a lot of people might make up for that. We'll see. Hey, I want to do a follow-up on the report yesterday. Remember, we talked about the fact that people received text messages originally sent on February 14th, causing a lot of uncomfortable situations. The Verge reports that a company called Cineverse, which provides third-party networking services to mobile carriers, says that was us. A single server was to blame. That's why it didn't happen to everybody. The server failed on February 14th, and so any messages it had on it waiting to be put into the queue stayed on that server until it was brought back online November 7th, at which point, once the server was fired back up, it said, oh, wait, we got some messages in the buffer. Let's ship them out now. They had been trapped there since February 14th. There is no explanation yet why this server went down and didn't get noticed, which is that's kind of the next obvious question is like, really? Nobody noticed that a bunch of messages were missing and you didn't figure out that the server was offline, but that is at least the technical cause.
Now, have we heard yet of the class action lawsuit of all of the relationships that broke up because people thought they did not get their Valentine's Day greeting from their Valentine?
Oh, well, actually, no, we haven't, but I wouldn't be shocked if there wasn't something along those lines. Garrick emailed us noting that, there could be actual fallouts where people might bring court cases because
somebody has a restraining order against someone else and they get a message, and we're going on a year, even if that person didn't do something wrong. That sounds like a very strange loophole to have to explain to authorities.
Yeah, really, that'll work. Well, Netflix announced it will no longer support some older TVs and Roku starting December 1st. If you have a Samsung TV from 2010 or 2011, a Vizio TV that is 4 years old or older, or one of the following Rokus, Roku 2050X, 2100X, 2000C, HD player, SD player, XR player, and XD player. This is becoming a more frequent occurrence with Hulu recently dropping support for LG TVs made before 2014.
Yeah, on the one hand, streaming stuff is maturing, right? Because we're getting to the point like we are with phones where you can no longer get updates for certain things.
It was funny when I first read this, I was like, oh no, I have kind of an old Samsung TV. It's circa 2013, so I'm in the clear, but I also don't use the app on my TV. I use, other devices that I plug into my TV and that I control them the way that I want to. So it's a principle thing. I think, but there are a lot of folks that do this. So it's unfortunate, particularly for the LG folks, because 2014 was not all that long ago when you're talking about TVs.
Right. Well, I'm surprised you were able to find this, Tom, or the actual models, because I went to Netflix's website and it said supported Roku models, and I clicked on it and it did not show me what models were supported under Roku. Luckily, they had a little survey saying, did this answer your question? Thumbs up or thumbs down?
Yeah, this came via a couple of different blogs that were reported back through the BBC, these model numbers. But yeah, it seemed like Netflix wasn't really excited about telling everybody which stuff they were going to stop supporting. They are sending a message through the app, though. So if you use the app and it's going to be deprecated, you've been getting a message. You already know.
Oh, okay, good.
And so what's interesting about that is a lot of people are now going to be upset about this who weren't affected because they weren't using the app. But they're like, but I could have been, right? And this is different than a phone. A phone not being supported is more expensive to replace. you can easily get like a Chromecast or a small Roku or Fire TV for, $20 to $40 in most cases.
Yeah, you're not buying a new TV. That kind
I'm
of
not
price.
saying that makes it great. I wonder if it's just that Netflix doesn't want to spend the money on continuing to develop for older platforms, but it does show why relying on a TV's operating system isn't a long-term strategy for anybody.
I don't give my TV access to the internet.
Don't trust it?
Nope, don't trust it at all.
On Wednesday, Apple IT specialist Bob Gendler found a macOS database file that locally stores info from Mail and other apps to be used by Siri to make better suggestion to users. Sounds great, right? Well, a file called snippets.db was storing text from encrypted mails in an unencrypted file. So if an attacker had access to your system files and you weren't using File Vault to encrypt your entire system, then that hacker could access portions of emails that you thought were encrypted. Gendler reported the issue to Apple on July 29th, didn't receive a response until November 5th. Apple told The Verge it will address the vulnerability in a future software update. In the meantime, Apple suggests that concerned users shut off Siri's access to the Mail app in the Siri Suggestions and Privacy section of Settings. And in macOS Catalina, you can avoid giving apps full disk access as well. And of course, turning on File Vault would work as well.
Yeah, turn on File Vault. Let's just put that one right up front. There could be a really good reason why you don't want File Vault on, in which case these other mitigation efforts are there. But the easy answer is turn on File Vault. Also, this is not something that most people are going to have to worry about. It's a very specific attack. I was curious, Allison, because on the Security Bits part of the NosillaCast podcast, you have nice rankings that Bart brings you. Which ranking you think Bart would give this?
Well, it would be probably in the no fire extinguisher category, unnecessary, just because it is going to be pretty narrow that you have to be encrypting your email, wanting to keep that encrypted. Obviously, you have to have somebody get a hold of your machine and not be running File Vault. I think if you've got encrypted mail, if you're running encrypted mail, you're probably running File Vault too. And if anybody tried File Vault 100 years ago when it first came out and it was big fat pain, don't worry about it now. You click a button and you go, okay, on with your business. It's no brainer. It's fast and it doesn't impact you at all.
Yeah, if anything, the best part of this story is getting that word out there to people who might not have gotten back around to turning on File Vault on an older machine. So you have that encrypted access. This is also, I always call these an example of good security research. A security researcher found a thing. Yeah, Apple took a little longer to respond to this than maybe they should have, but it's also not super high risk. And they are going to address it. So I think all in all, this is good news that the folks that you want to find these things found this one, which is good.
The shocking part is that Apple responded to The Verge.
That Apple actually spoke to The Verge about it. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened. That was a slip up.
The satellite startup Kepler has demonstrated delivering broadband speeds of 38 megabits per second down and 120 megabits per second up, a different kind of asynchronous internet, to a German icebreaker sea vessel stationed in the Arctic, serving as a mobile lab for the Mosaic Research Expedition, using 2 low Earth orbit nanosatellites that are on a polar orbital trajectory. Kepler was able to allow researchers in the Mosaic team to transfer large amounts of data to shore-based research stations from the ship. So this wasn't just a proof of concept. They were actually transferring data, something they really needed to be able to do. The speeds are a significant jump over spotty and slower traditional satellite-based broadband previously used for this kind of situation. And both poles are going to benefit. We had Ariel Waldman on not too long ago talking about the Antarctic station and the slow internet access that they have. This will help improve that for future people going into Antarctica as well.
That is crazy cool.
And it really has been very limited, as you mentioned, Tom. When Ariel was visiting us a couple of weeks ago, she had a wonderful time, but said, the internet issue is it's tough. It's tough for scientists. It's tough for people who are in the media. It's tough for anybody who's in the region. This is great. And since I saw a video of a beluga whale plane fetch with people off a boat in the Arctic yesterday on the internet, and I put it on Twitter, it was one of the greatest things I've ever seen. I now want to go to the Arctic because I know my internet's going to be a little bit better.
And I don't think enough people know that, SpaceX gets all the attention for this. And maybe you know that Jeff Bezos is also involved in a project like this. But there are multiple projects, and Kepler is one of them, to provide this kind of blanketed internet. And I wouldn't be too shocked if within the next 5 years, the ability, or at least the capability of getting decent broadband everywhere on the planet, just like you can if you have a satellite phone, you can get a phone connection almost anywhere on the planet. It just costs you money and you have to have the equipment. We may be getting there with internet,
so
with high speed internet.
Kepler's part of NASA, is that right?
No, this is not that Kepler.
There's other Kepler. Okay, because I did a search for Kepler just now because I hadn't actually heard of him. Oh, there's the Kepler Space Telescope is what I'm looking at.
That's the one that's part of NASA.
Okay. Okay.
So this is there's also Brian Brushwood's dog is named Kepler. Because that, I know know about dogs who are named after technology products.
Brian Brushwood's dog, while a great dog, did not provide satellite internet at these speeds.
Yet.
But he could have.
He may in the future.
He may still.
Yeah. Right.
Hey, folks, if you want to get all the tech headlines each day in about 5 minutes, be sure to subscribe to dailytechheadlines.com. So Allison and I were talking about what to talk about on today's show. And Allison, you were having a conversation with someone about annual operating system updates and how, whether it's your phone, Android or iOS, whether it's your desktop, Windows or Mac OS, when a new operating system update comes, it's totally expected that everyone is going to complain about stuff. And the only question is the amount of complaining actually more this time or not, right?
Well, yeah, it was Ray Robertson and I were talking about this because I'm the kind of person who loves the new shiny. I remember back in the BlackBerry days loading 3 applications onto my BlackBerry at a stoplight once. I just love apps and I love OSs and I love installing everything. But the latest updates from Apple, the latest operating systems have been just a little tiny bit rocky for me. Just run into a smidge of problems here and there. And he started questioning, do we really need to have annual big giant operating system updates? Is that really something that we need? I mean, we're being fed it because we want it, because we want the new shiny, but is that actually disruptive or helpful? Would we learn more about the operating system, what it could do if it was just stable for 2 years? That was kind of his question.
And just to be clear to everybody listening, we're not talking about security updates. Of course, we want security updates on a regular schedule, patching security vulnerabilities as fast as possible. That's fine. That's not what's at issue here. What we're talking about is, hey, that new May 2019 Windows update is here. Better upgrade to get the newest features, or macOS Catalina is here. Better upgrade to get the newest features. iOS 13, Android 10, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I would say my gut reaction to that is, well, then don't. You don't have to. And I'm sitting here with a machine to my left that's on macOS Catalina, a Windows machine there that is on the May 2019 update, a Mac OS in front of me that I'm streaming most of my stuff from that's on High Sierra. And the reason that one's on High Sierra is that it worked from the moment it first got High Sierra. I didn't want to mess with it. So I have not updated it. It still gets security patches, right? If we get to a point where they're like, yeah, we can't give security patches to that anymore, then we've got a problem. But you don't need to update to the new shiny if you don't want to.
Well, our mutual friend Dorothy does that. She was just telling me today that she upgrades every other Mac operating system. So, but she thinks she's probably going to do 2 in a row this time, which I'm not sure I understand, since Catalina has been just a wee bit rough around the edges here. The thing I think about is I'm totally bought in. Yes, every other year. Don't give us these big feature updates every year, because you obviously can't do it in any kind of a quality way whatsoever. But I want to pick and choose which updates actually were the ones I wanted. Like if they didn't give me continuity, for example, the ability to do a copy on my Mac and paste over onto my iPad, that sort of thing, or take photos with my phone that go instantly into a document on my Mac. I live on that stuff. I love that stuff. So not that update. Okay, dark mode. I don't care about dark mode. Dark mode's for suckers, as Adam Hanks from Tidbit says.
Well, so I am a sucker then, but okay.
It depends, but that's the point, right? Is the ones that are really important for Sarah are not the ones that are important for me.
Right.
And the ones that are important for me are not the ones that are important for you. So which ones would we not have?
Well, I mean, it's the cost benefit analysis and it's in your hands, right? I think it's interesting because I think about it from the perspective of an IT administrator. And I know we have tons of you sysadmins out there. And the fact that we have problems where companies were still running on XP or companies are still running on Windows 7 is because of the other end of this, the extreme end of like, yeah, this works and I ain't messing with it. I don't care if you get some new fun feature. I want to use what's stable and works with our intranet and runs everything and is bulletproof. And that's kind of how I feel about my production machine myself.
Yeah, this is not something that you're going to upgrade to Catalina because you're like, nope. Yeah. Too many things are going to break. And I can attest that they will. And they did for me when I upgraded to Catalina. But I'm kind of with you, Allison. I want the newest version of everything, because it's like, if it's a security update, that's one thing. But if it's sort of new features and new bells and whistles that I don't really need, but at least I can play around with, I always do want that. But the more incremental updates, one would think would be just kind of at least faster to upgrade all the time, update all the time. Not always the case. And for work like what we do, you can't have your computer down for 45 minutes, depending on the time of day. I mean, it'll ruin everything. So I kind of find that sometimes I wish I was back at the yearly update type situation, which is a bad idea. And I know that, but it would require me to have to go pace around the living room watching, my progress bar all that much less.
So one of the things they've done, at least in the Apple world, that makes this even harder is you pretty much have to upgrade when iOS comes out. I mean, the nag level, and you can't just stay back a version. And
you have to work harder at it. You're right. Yeah.
There's a lot of effort. So I went to iOS 13, which dumpster fire has been a big problem for me, especially on the iPad. And I did not heed the warning that said, if you do this update and you say upgrade to my reminders, it's going to break reminders over on your Mac. I mean, it was super obvious. It was in big letters. I think they were red. They were like 28-point font. And I went, oh, I'm sure it'll be fine. And I clicked through and I lost reminders on my Mac. Well, until I went to Catalina, I didn't have reminders anymore. And I use reminders all the time. So I actually did go to Catalina on my production machine. Now, my life does not come to an end. I mean, mentally, I would come to an end if it didn't work, but I wouldn't miss a house payment if it didn't work.
Sure.
So they've tied them together enough now that you sort of got to keep moving with the Mac operating system. And I don't know that you have that problem on Windows.
I wonder if it wouldn't be better, given the amount of people who have problems with both the May 2019 update, certainly with the October, which was really November update of 2018 on Windows, and the Catalina, if companies, lightened off the accelerator, maybe we go back to longer release between. Remember, we used to go like 3 years with a service pack between Windows versions. So maybe it doesn't have to go that far, but maybe fewer features. Maybe they're trying to push too many features into these updates. I understand that they want to keep their operating systems seeming fresh. They want to make people feel like when they buy a new computer that they're getting new cool things that they didn't have on their old computer if they didn't upgrade to the brand new version of the operating system. I understand that Apple has a different way of doing it and wanting to make you feel like you always have a new thing from them because you're updating the operating system. But it is definitely in both cases, Windows and Mac, starting to cause people to get frustrated because every time you upgrade an operating system, things are not going to work. And it seems like more things are not working each time in both camps.
Catalina, people lost mail. And with the latest, one of those two updates to Windows, people lost data. So these aren't minor inconveniences. Those are catastrophic kind of problems. They're not just, my driver for my scanner doesn't work anymore kind of problems. Yeah. They're getting big. They're getting worse. And I had to phone Chris Ashley to find out exactly what had gone on with Windows. And it was kind of interesting because he says, well, Microsoft doesn't do big annual updates. Oh, sure. They have the fall and the spring update. And yeah, those were catastrophic. And I said, okay, so Apple and Windows and Microsoft get there through totally different paths, but they end up in the same place.
Yeah. Microsoft just breaks it up into two halves of the year. Android, iOS, and Mac OS all do it once a year. And They're, you know, all of them will add features from time to time in an auth update. In fact, Apple has done that quite a bit more this time around with delaying features and not adding them until a later update, which implies to me that they're just not ready to do these things. Maybe there's just a better way of packaging them up than forcing them into a yearly update. I don't know.
They were also in an interesting position, and maybe this is part of what drives it every year, is they were coming out with the iPhone 11 with some amazing new camera features. And so they had to have the operating system come out at the same time as the phone, or else you would have gotten the phone and gone, well, wait a minute, what did I pay for this for? It didn't do anything. So that forces the iOS update. And the iOS update is over here forcing the Catalina update, and everybody goes when the whistle blows. And by the way, we got yet another update to iOS 13 today.
Yeah, no, I saw. The one thing, I haven't really had problems with the OS updates from Apple this time around, but I have had a problem with keeping up with them because I'm like, wow, really? I got to reboot this machine again? My God.
Yeah, that's a lot.
It broke Audio Hijack for me yesterday.
Ooh, yikes.
Yeah,
that's catastrophic.
Well, you know who doesn't break anything? That would be the people in our subreddit. They only contribute good updates to our lives. You can submit stories and vote on them at dailytechnewsshow.reddit.com. You can also join in the conversation in our Discord 24/7. Good, lively Discord conversations happening all the time. You can join by linking to a Patreon account at patreon.com/DTNS.
Let's check out the mailbag.
Got a good one from Nathaniel, who also sent us a video that kind of goes with the email for all you video folks. Nathaniel said, we received a paper catalog in the mail from Amazon today for holiday shopping. Looks like they're trying to revive the experience of kids flipping through that catalog, circling their dream items, taping pages to the fridge, arguing about which toy is best. Nathaniel says, I think it's a great idea, especially with sticker pages and a built-in wish list. Also, he notes that his cat Grizzly seemed curious, but not enough to get off the couch.
Yeah, he sent us a video of Grizzly reviewing the Amazon catalog.
Grizzly was purring and kind of chirping, so she seemed okay with it.
Yeah.
Man, I don't want Amazon on page.
Like kids do not send me anything
in the mail.
Are they going to look back on the Amazon catalog the way we look back on the JCPenney wish list and the Sears catalog and all that? I don't know.
I just don't. I don't feel like they even know what that. It's almost for parents or adults, I suppose. I like a catalog. I flip through my West Elms and my the various stuff that comes to me, even though I never signed up for it, kind of thing. Don't think I want anything from Amazon though. Just feels a little backwards.
There is a thing in the video that Grizzly sent us where you can write out the things that you want. So it seems like it's aimed at kids for that reason.
Yeah.
And then Kome wrote in and said, I'm worried about privacy in general, but Facebook, Google, and Amazon are not my biggest concern. I care about net neutrality as much as privacy, and I'm more worried the ISP's DNS servers know all the sites we visit. That's why I use other DNS, and I'm bothered by the monopoly and lack of ISP choices. I wonder why we don't hear news about net neutrality anymore. One of the reasons we don't hear about net neutrality anymore is because there's not a government fight for it. That's been settled by the FCC for the time being. The court cases are not maturing. So as soon as some of these court cases come to decisions, we'll start to hear more about that. And there are still a few of them that haven't been decided. And there haven't been violations yet. So as soon as somebody's caught doing something that would have violated net neutrality that's legal now, that'll become a big story. But we're kind of in a period where none of that is happening. So that's why we're not hearing a lot about it.
Shout out to our patrons.
There isn't any. I would have just said there isn't any net neutrality would have been my answer to that.
Well, but that would be news, right? If there were violations about net neutrality, that would you don't think BuzzFeed would be, bringing in the clicks on that every day? Vice, Motherboard, they'd all be doing that.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Yeah.
Shout out to our patrons at our master and grandmaster levels, including Rushan Brantley, Adam Carr, and Andy Beach.
Now, Len Peralta is usually here on Friday illustrating. He couldn't be here today, but he sent us this amazing drawing featuring Sarah, myself, and Tech Holiday Fantasies. It's also the art for our holiday greeting card. So if you take a look at it, you see things like, BuzzFeed no longer chasing the clicks, or, Google respects your privacy, gives up advertising invasiveness.
It's a real wish list, isn't it?
Yeah. If you want to have us mail you this holiday card, and we will sign with a little thing on it, you got to sign up as a Patreon between now and November 28th. Give us your mailing address, and we'll send you this art on a postcard. There are also still slots to get your name on Len's DTNS Rise of Skywalker inspired poster. You have until November 15th to get your name in the credits. So get your order in at lenperaltastore.com for that. And if you're like, wait, I need holiday cards for myself, Len does those too. You can commission him to make art for your holiday card. That's also available at lenperaltastore.com.
Thanks to Allison Sheridan for being with us this fine Friday. Allison, where can people keep up with the rest of your work?
Well, the best place to go is podfeet.com. And I'm super excited I just had Ken Case, the CEO of Omni Group, on Chit Chat Across the Pond. And it was a fantastic interview. So nerdy, you can't even believe it. This guy went to college when he was 13 years old. Wow. And we take it up through his work on BitNet, which I hadn't even heard of BitNet, and how he ended up working for Next Computers before it got bought back by Apple and Steve Jobs and all this kind of crazy stuff, and how he wrote the Omni web browser that Steve Jobs used. It's a fantastic, incredibly nerdy interview, and it was absolutely fun. Podfeet.com.
Go check it out. Now, folks, would you like to be right here sitting with us chatting about tech? You can. Tell us why you would make a good listener co-host and why you think other listeners would like hearing your perspective. We record this episode Tuesday, November 26th between 3 and 4 p.m. Pacific. It'll air during December, but if you're available Tuesday, November 22nd between 6 p.m. and 7 p.m. Eastern, that's 3 to 4 p.m. Pacific, email us at feedback@dailytechnewsshow.com by Sunday, November 17th, by a week from Sunday, with the subject line, listener co-host. And we will be selecting people to be part of the show.
Woohoo! Can't wait to talk to y'all. Our email address is feedback@dailytechnewsshow.com. We're also live Monday through Friday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern. That's 21:30 UTC. And you can find out more at dailytechnewsshow.com/live.
We're off for the holiday Monday here in the U.S., but we'll be back Tuesday with Patrick Beja. Talk to you then.
This show is part of the Frog Pants Network. Get more at frogpants.com.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.
And scene.
And scene.
Ah, that was a good show.
It was fun.
Good show.
That was fun. Yeah, that was easy.
What should we call it?
We should call
How
it.
about Brian Brushwood's dog does not provide satellite internet? The Wonderful World of Walt Disney Plus. Why smart TVs are a dumb idea. Shock. Apple spoke to The Verge. Update, break, repeat. That's not bad. I like that.
Showbot.tv/DTNS or just Showbot?
DTNS.showbot.tv.
DTNS.showbot.
Apple shows snippets of your email. Well, they don't do it on purpose. Hotness or hot mess?
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's good. That's pretty good.
That's kind of good.
What net neutrality? If a server goes down on the internet and nobody misses your text, did you really send it?
Too long.
Did you really need to send it? That's even better.
Update,
what were you
break,
saying, Roger?
repeat.
Yeah? You like that one?
That was good.
Yep.
Simple.
All right.
Catchy. We got some great GDI submissions.
All right, let's take a look at those. GDI.showbot. Oh, wait. Update, break, repeat was submitted by ENAP49. Well done, ENAP49. GDI.showbot.tv. What do we got?
Well, this one probably we shouldn't use, but it's funny. Hot, painful shingles in your area.
I like single shingle shot.
Also, talking about my vaccination.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Sound-Dampening Piñata. Yeah.
That's right. That's why it sounds so good. It's a Sarah Pinata way back there.
Yeah, you didn't have that.
I mean, without her, it'd be a mess in here.
I think you have to keep her, Sarah. I think she's just creepy.
I'm not. I'm not getting rid of my piñata. No one's gonna beat my piñata with a baseball bat. That's not happening. She's just gonna stay there.
It could be a voodoo doll for all
she may move. She may.
Oh, yeah.
She may move on
travel
its own,
around a little bit.
like it's
You know, kind of like
Dance
Seinfeld episodes where you're like, "Where's the Superman in the background? Like, where's Sarah Pinata?" You know, we'll have some fun with it. We also have. You can't see it, but there's like these sort of
rafters.
Well, not rafters, but it's basically just storage that you can actually hang lights off of. I can have some fun with it, but I can. Well, here, I'll show you.
Yeah, I think that solves it. Sound-Dampening Piñata is the name of our episode. Yeah. Thank you, ICU _ for submitting that one.
I see you too.
Oh.
I see you.
You are so seen.
The Sarah Pinata can be hung lots of places.
Whoa, that's.
Oh, she got closer. That's really scary.
That
freaked me out because I looked away. I was typing
what do you
I
mean,
looked
Sarah?
Sarah, you know what? If we time it correctly, every time I switch to a screenshot or something, you can move it very quickly, and then it comes back to you, and it's just like.
Oh yeah, and it kind of becomes it
becomes
slowly creeps up on you throughout the show.
Yeah.
What if she's at the mic, Sarah? Like, can you hang her directly right there?
We're about to find out, I have a feeling.
I don't think I've ever seen Sarah this happy.
Oh, wow.
She might need a longer tether. It's her.
Yeah, her head's out of shot now, darn it.
Yeah. You don't want her pants talking into the mic.
She needs a longer cord. Yeah. Hey, Sarah Pinata. What's up?
Oh my God,
how you been?
That's so creepy.
Are you full of candy?
Oh.
What kind of candy's in you? Anything good?
It's the best GDI ever.
I already see Joe. I already imagine Joe writing down time codes to add this to the best of.
Yeah. If this isn't the best of, Joe, I don't know what to tell you.
Sarah, I've literally never seen you this happy.
Instead of Tony, edit this out, this will be Joe. Make sure this is in.
Allison, I think part of it is me being like, I have so much room in here. Look, I can hang a piñata in several different places. Yeah.
You can put your hands out and not touch both walls right now.
Oh man, no, not even. It's awesome. It's great.
How does Otis like the outdoors?
Oh my gosh, he's out there. He's being independent dog right now, which is
not digging.
Which is well, after the reprimand, hopefully we're past it. What I've been doing is I let him out, and he has a lot of room to run around. So he kind of sniffs. There are various areas. There might be a little dog pee, here and there. And then he goes kind of into this grassy area, and he sort of looks around at the trees for a while. And then he lays down, and I can see him from upstairs. Kind of when I'm like, if I'm not in here, I can't see anything from in here because there's really no windows. But upstairs, if I'm prepping for the show, I can kind of spy on him, and he doesn't notice. And I mean, most of the time, he's literally just like laying on his back in the sun, just so happy. And he would be fine upstairs with me, but I'm like, get some fresh air, go be an outdoor dog. So I think it's good for him.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad he's happy.
He's so
Somebody
happy.
did give me a dog digging in a hole solution.
Let's hear it. I don't need any more of that.
It's a little bit gross, but bury his poop in that hole. They don't dig in the same spot again.
What if your dog tends to want to eat their own poop?
My dog does not do that.
I got one that does.
Yeah. My dog doesn't do that.
Well, they may not dig still. I don't know, but it worked for the.
I just fear that it would almost encourage like, well, now I need a new hole.
Maybe. Oh yeah, I did just that one.
Because he pretty much knows now that hole he dug is not cool. Nobody thinks it's cool. Nobody's happy with it.
No one's impressed, Otis.
No.
Or you think you would run out of poop trying to put it in a lot of different holes? You don't have enough?
Well, that's the worry.
That's just something I hope not to do. Imagine like a year from now, someone being like, something's very wrong here.
You seem to have a lot of dug up spots.
Right.
With very fertile plants growing out.
But we did this morning. So I think I don't know if I told you guys yesterday. I don't, who even knows what day it is right now. But one of the gals who works at the market told me about some sort of like secret trails. Not secret, but trails that I might not venture on because they say private property. So I'm like, okay, I don't do that. But they're not really. They're like fire roads. And people around here just want to discourage riffraff from, going up there and doing stuff because no one's around. So there was a fire road. There's a fire road up the street from us a bit, and it sort of curves around, and then it becomes a trail. I mean, a vehicle would not be able to take it from one side to the other, but I guess it's some access. Mm-hmm. And there's a big ravine. It's super beautiful, and so we just kind of, we did a little trek this morning and got sort of dumped out onto another neighborhood, which I was like, where am I even? I mean, I'm not far from home, but I don't really have my bearings. Luckily, I have my little compass on my Fitbit, which really comes in handy in these situations. And it was so fun. It was probably about 2-mile round trip, very doable. So I'm like, all right. We got a new little trek, new little morning trek.
Oh, yeah. Does he go off leash with you on those?
Not in neighborhoods because I don't know what dogs are around yet.
Well, I meant on that fire road out there. If you.
Oh yeah, he totally could. I mean, it's literally like a trail in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like the worst that could happen is he I don't know, jumps down the hill and has a hard time getting back up, but he wouldn't do that. Yeah, he has his little off leash areas.
He's gonna get all fit and thin.
Oh, he's
get down to like 84 pounds instead.
Yeah, right. Wouldn't that be nice? I actually went to a dog park somewhat nearby that I go to, once or twice a week so he can socialize. And one of the people was like, "Whoa, I mean, how do you even deal with such a big dog?" And I'm like, "He's not that big." He's big, but he's not the biggest dog in the world. Like a Doberman is bigger than him. Well, maybe not all Dobermans, but
I think
you know
it's
what I mean?
the relative size of you to Otis that causes people to maybe have that.
I think that's why people are like, how do you even deal? And I'm like,
because I thought he was a lot bigger than he was, having only seen pictures of you next to him until I met him. I was like, oh yeah, no, he's a big dog, but he's not like, the size of a car.
Like if he was next to Ray, you wouldn't be like, wow.
Yeah, he might not even be taller than Ray. He's certainly beefier than her, but yeah.
Yeah. No, it's good though. It's lots of sights and sounds. He tried to chase a squirrel up a redwood tree earlier when I was spying on him. I mean, he can't get very far, so it was embarrassing for him, really. Just sort of, he's just kind of face planted into the bark, and then was like, that didn't work. But yeah, I'm like, go for it. Just be a dog. Be a dog outside.
I personally am a strong believer that you don't want a smart dog. Because Tessa's like not the sharpest spoon in the drawer, and it's awesome because she can't figure out how to open a door that's ajar in the direction she wants to walk through. Either that, or she's just excessively polite. And Lindsay's dog Dodger, Steve had to put a new door handle on because he kept opening the door, pulling it in towards him, and walking out of the house.
So here's the funny thing: Django, my old dog, super smart. Used to push the door open because she just wanted to do whatever. At some point, she got the idea that she shouldn't do that. I don't know what happened. We didn't train her to. She just stopped doing it. And so I would leave the door ajar. Oh, hey, Tesla. I would leave the door ajar and Django would just wait for it to be opened. I always took it more as like, you are my servant. I don't open my own doors. You open this for me. But Sawyer would come up and open the door for her. And actually let her go first. Like he would just nudge it forward and then she would go in.
Oh, that's awesome.
Maybe she got to the point where she was like, I'm a lady and Sawyer should be opening the door for me.
And Sawyer's like, I'm a gentleman.
I'll do it. Yeah. She's like, I'm not opening my own door. What do you think?
So did I actually send this to you, Allison, or did I just think it when I was listening on my walk one day? But I was going to suggest you should name your Tesla Dog.
Oh, that would be perfect. Because it has gotten confusing having a dog named Tesla and a Tesla. Because like, are you talking about the vet or the shop that you're going to? Exactly, what is it you're
taking Tesla in? Which one?
Taking dog. Did you want to drive dog today?
That's cute. One of the, and this I think probably has to do with anywhere where you kind of might have sort of a weekend kind of, beach house or river house or somewhere that, there's a lot of that around here. Not everybody is living here full time. But one of the things about this area is the houses, a lot of them have sort of clever, like, happy hour, but it's OUR because it's hours. And then there was one that I saw earlier that was Polly's Perch, and it was all like parrot based.
Wow.
There's a lot of parrot art around the property. There was the best one was frog parking only. All others will be towed.
TOAD.
I know, right? And I know they're all grown. But like you see it and you're like, that is just so weird. what are we doing out here? Weirdos. It's so great. I love it. It's going to be my new vanity license plate little experiment to find the best ones.
What is your contribution to this going to be?
I don't know. That's a great question because I can put something right above the big garage door, and make it very clear, what Redwood Studios is all about.
Sure.
Yeah. I don't know.
Or make it just super mysterious. People are like, ooh, Redwood
Rage Against the Machine.
And there's so many of them. It's just, a lot of them is just like the Browns, apostrophe, whatever. But, you're like, okay, the Browns live here. Got it, But there are some very cleverly strange ones where you're like, okay, I would like to meet the frog people.
Oh yeah,
like, they gotta be fun. Yeah.
And do they laugh every time they come home? I bet they do.
I mean, I've walked by a couple of times now, and I'm like, it's just so. It's like a custom made sign. Like that's not something you're gonna like just buy somewhere.
Right. That's not off the rack. Yeah.
They had to go out of their way to do that.
That's right. So, yeah.
Somebody posted on Facebook, it almost has something to do with what you're talking about, but not quite. A picture of a book depository where you pull it open to stick a book in, and there's a paper notice above it. It says, "Please yell, 'Not a squirrel!' when using this book drop, so we know you are a human and not a squirrel trying to steal our goodies." What happened there that caused them to need to post a sign that you have to yell, "Not a squirrel," when you?
I think we know part of the story already. Yeah.
Isn't that awesome, though?
Hey, you know what else is awesome? Dark Knight 27 US gave 165 bits to us on Twitch, saying, please take some Prime money and enjoy a drink. Thank you, Dark Knight 27 US.
Well, and thank you so much.
Capper67 gave 110 bits as well. Thank you, Capper67, for keeping us in bits. You guys are the bits.
You really are the bits.
And we are going to take our long weekend now. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you again, Allison, for joining us.
Woohoo! That was fun. I didn't even realize that Monday was Veterans Day. I totally forgot.
Remembrance Day in some places, Veterans Day in others. Enjoy it either way.
Have served our country.
Absolutely. And everybody, please have a good day.
Good day, Internet.
Good day.
And good weekend.